This is Terry Kurtz Online reporting on Victor Valley, High Desert, and Mojave River Valley events, activities, entertainment, sports, and history. Amid recurring rainstorms that threaten mudslides and flooding throughout the state, the governor has proclaimed a state of emergency to fast-track critical forest management projects, part of the state's efforts to protect communities from catastrophic wildfire. This action comes some 2 months after the Los Angeles area was devastated by wildfires that killed 29 people and destroyed thousands of structures. This emergency proclamation promises to cut bureaucratic red tape and includes suspending the controversial California Environmental Quality Act and the Coastal Act. Those measures slowed down critical forest management projects. The state of emergency declaration follows the governor's executive order signed in February to further improve community hardening and wildfire mitigation strategies that include using controlled burns, tree removal, and adding fuel breaks to increase neighborhood resilience statewide. Perhaps most importantly, declaring a state of emergency for California allows for allocated federal funds to be dispersed for cleanup and recovery efforts. The number of Operation Consequences felony arrests have now reached 40 so far this year. The latest dragnets conducted by investigators from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Gangs Narcotics Division, along with deputies from patrol stations, contacted suspects at various locations, including 4 neighborhoods in the Victor Valley. Over a 1-week period, investigators contacted gang members and people prohibited from possessing firearms and made 15 felony arrests and 16 misdemeanor arrests. Total consequences felony arrests since the first of the year, 140. Altogether, since consequences inception, now well over 1,600. In the latest smash-and-grab operations, investigators from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department Gangs Narcotics Division conducted a retail theft operation at the Victorian Gardens shopping mall in Rancho Cucamonga. Investigators made 4 felony arrests, 20 misdemeanor arrests, and recovered $4,796 in property. Those results bring to a total 32 felons arrested, 54 misdemeanor arrests made, and nearly $19,000 worth of property recovered since the first of the year. The county's Community Service and Reentry Division's Homeless Outreach Proactive Enforcement Team contacted some 60 unsheltered individuals in the latest Operation Shelter Me activity. The HOPE team located 59 individuals experiencing homelessness. 51 individuals received referrals to assistance programs. 8 individuals were linked with follow-up professional services. This initiative aims to connect staff with unhoused residents, offering them housing, medical, and mental health treatment services. During these operations, the team focuses on individuals with significant mental illnesses to link them to restorative mental health pathways. Terry Kurtz Online was brought to you by Bid Fast and Last. Bid Fast and Last, world-class auctioneers. Bid online at bidfastandlast.com.
Ready to kick tires, start fires, kick ass, take names, and rock and roll.
The Bradco Companies, Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies. Bradco, leading efforts to improve the quality of life and standard of living for all residents throughout our high desert region. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, family owned and operated since 1954. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery designs. We Got 'em Tees, 2 locations, Apple Valley and Upland. Oh yeah, We Got 'em Tees.
Serious legal problems? Don't go it alone. The other guys have attorneys just waiting to blow you away. Contact Iwanzak Contact Iwanzak Law Firm. Trial lawyers for serious problems.
Down Home Grill, 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, pickup, or to order ahead for dine-in. 12120 Ridgecrest Road, corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road in Victorville. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, Conference and Convention Center for the High Desert, and favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. Keep up with Victor Valley and High Desert local news by watching KVVB TV Channel 33 Daily Newscast. Breaking news update. Joseph W. Brady's insight and analysis.
The inflation that we've seen, the pricing that we've seen, I think it's here to stay. I don't see it rolling back at all.
Video sports, action highlights of high school and Victor Valley College sports. KVVB TV local newscasts, televised 8 times daily, available on Roku and Amazon Fire. KVVB TV Channel 33. Adding names to High Desert's heroes and idols. Megan Jastrab of Apple Valley, first High Desert athlete to be an Olympics medalist. Singer-songwriter Chase Beckham of Apple Valley, American Idol winner 2021. And true hometown heroes who saved an elderly woman from a serial killer. Megan Jastrab, a 19-year-old cyclist from Apple Valley, won a bronze medal at the Tokyo Summer Olympics. Megan and her U.S. cycling team won bronze in the women's team pursuit, having also set a national record earlier in the Games. Megan Jastrab was homeschooled in Apple Valley. She attends Milligan University in Tennessee, where she studies business and exercise science. 24-year-old Chase Beckham of Apple Valley won 2021's season 19 of American Idol. In late 2020, 2 weeks before he auditioned for American Idol, he was involved in a near-fatal car wreck. His original song, 23, was performed leading up to his winning 4th annual edition of American Idol and hit #1 on iTunes. Chase Beckham was born in Victorville, spent his childhood in Victorville, Hesperia, and Apple Valley, attending Carmel Elementary School in Hesperia, Vanguard Preparatory School, and Sitting Bull Academy in Apple Valley, before moving out of the area. He returned to Apple Valley to work as a heavy machinery operator. American Idol prizes included a recording contract with Disney's Hollywood Records, in addition to the $250,000 cash prize. From the archives of real-life heroes, it was August 2006 when Daily Press workers Joe Eskandar and Ray Bantig sprang into action to rescue a local woman from a serial killer.
You've heard about him, read about him. The headlines: Daily Press pressmen rescue woman from attacker who turns out to be an accused serial killer. 2 newspaper press workers taking a smoke break 50 yards away. Their reaction that August 7th, 2006 saved the lady and changed their lives. They're real-life heroes. No ordinary Joe. This guy's muscular frame is carved into a physique the type you'd expect to see on one of those Ultimate Warriors, which he's considered doing. Joe Iskandar is 27. Ray Bantig is 34. What they did was respond and react, not plot a plan of attack. Adrenaline took over when they recognized the need to rescue an older woman in distress. The suspect, 3 victims. 2 dead, 1 still missing. How many more had it not been for their heroism? Here's how it happened in their words.
Well, basically, me and Ray were sitting out here having a cigarette break. We saw a guy running across the alleyway to the Castle Cleaver, jump the wall. Didn't really make nothing of it. And then all we heard was a scream, lady screaming.
And we saw the guy just running across the alley and jump over the wall. And that's all I said. Next thing we know, that we heard a woman just start yelling and honking her horn.
And then all we heard was a scream, lady screaming. We stood up, see what it was. He was yanking her out of the car by her hair. So we just ran over there. And by that time we got over there, she was already out of the car. He was almost all the way in. He was trying to shut the door.
He grabbed her from the hair and tossed her out of the car. So me and Joe ran towards him and grabbed the door. He was about to close the door, and then we grabbed the door, and Joe went inside the car and grabbed him by his left arm and I grabbed him by the right arm.
He was trying to struggle a little bit. I had him like in a full Nelson hold and had his head kind of pinned down against the window. And he was trying to fight, told him, if you keep moving, I'm going to put your head through the window. Kind of lit up a little bit by then. Ray was calling 911. By that time, we told him to get on the floor. He didn't want him to get on the floor, so Ray kicked the back of his knee to get him down.
I kicked him behind his knee, and he went down. That's how break me and Joe. And that's it. He went down. He said, "You got me, and that was it.
After that, Ray came back to the zip ties. We tied his hands behind his back, put him up against the wall, and the police came shortly after.
The hero label not a comfortable fit on Bantig's shoulders, but it's impossible to escape the acclaim and recognition.
Well, people around here, they said we're heroes, but me and Joe, it's like a normal fight, Well, I'm sure Joe's been in a big fight, and me too, but this guy is kind of like, he's more like he tried to get away, but he don't want to fight, so that's it. I don't know. People said that we're heroes, but that's good though. We all appreciate it.
Had things turned out differently, Iskandar might have been in law enforcement.
I've tested for the sheriff's department once before, a long time ago, and that didn't go through. Other than that, no, it's just something that popped in our head, we just went and did it. And I didn't feel like sitting there. I know how the cops sometimes take their time, so I didn't want to sit there and have to hold them down the whole time.
You'll see many a spin on this story in the days and weeks ahead. The city of Victorville and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department among the first to proclaim the bravery of these real-life heroes.
From our Scam Alert file, credit repair is a $6.5 billion industry that is rife with fraud and scams. While credit repair companies often claim they can erase bad credit or boost your scores, claims like these are usually false or misleading. Unfortunately, the sales pitch works on many people who want to improve their credit for milestones like refinancing a home, including financially savvy seniors. But you don't need to work with a credit repair company, since you can take your own steps to fix your credit without spending any money at all. Credit repair is the process of correcting inaccuracies or disputing mistakes in your credit reports to maintain or improve your overall credit. Credit repair companies claim they can improve your credit in exchange for a fee. The main service they offer is filing disputes or requests asking the credit bureaus to change information on your reports. Credit repair companies rely heavily on the fact that most consumers don't know the truth about disputes. Every person has the legal right to file credit disputes for free. Filing is a simple process that takes as little as 5 minutes. No person or agency can legally remove accurate information from your credit reports. Still, some credit repair companies charge thousands of dollars in upfront fees, which are illegal, or hundreds of dollars a year in recurring fees without ever delivering results. Some would even go so far as to have customers commit federal crimes, such as falsely claiming to be victims of identity theft in order to get information removed from their credit reports. Perhaps what's most alarming is the fact that of the estimated 46,000 credit repair services, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says the vast majority are sole proprietorships, meaning they're run by just one person. If you're thinking of hiring a company to improve your credit, beware of these red flags for a scam, claiming they can erase bad credit, guaranteeing they can improve your credit reports or scores, asking for upfront payment, encouraging you to make false statements, offering to create a new credit identity for you, or refusing to give you a written contract. Terry Kurtz here, throwing out an invitation for you to catch up with High Desert Sports activities. Your High Desert Sports Report, showing 3 times every day on Victor Valley TV. 7 and 11 every morning, 4 every afternoon.
What time is it, sports fan? It's time for your High Desert Sports Report.
Your half-hour High Desert Sports Report, the area's only video action highlights coverage of high school athletes, teams, and sports programs, Victor Valley College Rams, and Barstow College Vikings athletic events. We hope you'll join us right here on Victor Valley TV. Terry Kurtz Online was brought to you by Bid Fast and Last. Bid Fast and Last, world-class auctioneers. Bid online at bidfastandlast.com.
Ready to kick tires, start fires, skip ass, take names, and rock and roll.
The Bradco Companies, Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies. Bradco, leading efforts to improve the quality of life and standard of living for all residents throughout our high desert region. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, family owned and operated since 1954. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery designs. We Got 'em Tees, 2 locations, Apple Valley and Upland. Oh yeah, We Got 'em Tees.
Serious legal problems? Don't go it alone. The other guys have attorneys just waiting to blow you away. Contact Iwanzak. Iwanzak, law firm. Trial lawyers for serious problems.
Down Home Grill, 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, pickup, or to order ahead for dine-in. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, conference and convention center for the high desert, and favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. The Graham family has been cattle ranchers for more than 5 generations. The Graham family's mission is to provide individuals with the power to promote positive social change in the way beef is raised.
Everything that we deal or see today is important in that circle of life, whether it's a weed or whether it's a luscious plant. They all have equal value in what we do.
Equally important as vegetation, the water. The headwaters to the Mojave River flow through this ranch, and the water leaves in pristine condition.
For the chloroforms and everything in it, they call it pristine water. When you think of a waterway leaving a ranch, you would expect to see some discoloration. You would expect to see something here other than just absolutely crystal clear, beautiful water leaving a ranch. But if you do it right, that's what you get. And that's what I talk about, that it is so important that we do what we do for the water. This water is going to be drinking by every school kid, by everybody that is downstream from us. And this is the very beginning, because our water runs inland and runs north instead of to the ocean. So this water is going to be used from, like I said, from here to Death Valley.
The Grahams keep true to the roots of the land, never using herbicides or fertilizers or machinery. Everything is done on horseback or on foot. The beef you buy from True Pasture Beef are cattle that the Graham family has raised for the cow's entire life. The grass the cattle eat is what grows naturally. There is no odor stockyards here. Bacteria has been reduced to where there is less in manure than in vegetation.
This is a piece of cow manure that has hit the ground. You're going to look around, you're going to see a lot of this. It's right next to where, when it rains, it can run into the water, okay? Now, every bit of this plant life, as you can see underneath this tree, underneath this bush, this is all bacteria, okay? This is all mildewed that is bacteria, and this bacteria will end up in that creek. There's bacteria in this that will end up in that creek. If you took this per pound and this per pound, in the same condition, meaning in the same degradable condition, that's a little further degraded than this is at this point. The bacteria count would be less here than it is there. Why that is because this animal, when we fed this animal, we did not bring any grains, we did not bring any supplements in. All the animal ate was what was here, okay? And this is eventually going to die and end up in a waterway. Once it eats it, it takes the energy out of it to live. So when it has this come out, this has less energy to feed bacteria than it did if the plant just died by itself. So the cow, it's easier, this is less pollutant than the bush is by itself, because the cow is taking the energy out of that. Now this was a really hard thing to get people to understand, because when we think of cow manure, we think of Chino Valley and we think of all the pollutants it's caused down there. It wasn't the cow manure. A cow is only what it is fed, okay? So if you feed it high nitrate feeds, high carbon feeds that have a lot of GMOs in it that don't break down the way that we typically stuff breaks down, and you do that for years, you create a huge pollution bank. Consequently, this is not, it's not two of the same things. So this is actually cleaner than that would be, and we wouldn't think anything of eating a piece of this dried off bush, and yet this will have less bacteria than this would have. If you look around, this brush brings a lot of things to us. One thing is if we're in a dry year, if the cattle need to, or if we're in an exceptionally cold year, or if we have some snow, the cattle will eat that brush, the green spots on that brush, and it's very good feed. In fact of the matter, if they eat it for about 30 days, it'll give the meat a really unique flavoring to it. And that's why our meat will never taste the same every time you get it. It will depend on the year, it will depend on the time of the year of what the animal's been eating. And so it's not like going to the grocery store where every animal is fed the same ration and every steak will taste the same. That is why all of our meat will always have a slightly different flavor, taste, even to some extent a smell to it. Mother Nature is one of the coolest things in the world if you just have the patience to allow it to work. You know, the hardest thing we have is learning how to develop our patience and allowing this to happen at its right speed, at the right time, and let the circle of life do what it's supposed to do.
Earl Graham had to persuade the powers that be to be patient when it came to his insistence to not use pesticides or herbicides.
That is called a thistle. They're just a nasty plant. So when I first took over this ranch, it was covered in those, absolutely covered. You couldn't not ride your horse through for it getting poked by all of those thistles. And the county agency told me, they said, if you're going to be responsible for that property, we're going to mandate that you do some spraying for that thistle. And I said to the guys, I said, look, if we spray and we find that spray in our water, they're going to shut this whole operation down. It'll never get to beef. So they agreed that we could do that.
Earl Graham follows the formula of another longtime rancher when it comes to the bottom line versus the circle of life.
He'd oftentimes tell me, he'd say, take the money out of it and see if it makes sense. Remove the money portion of it and see if it makes sense. And I started applying that. Take the money out of it and let's see what makes sense when we manage land. Pull the money out. Money is not what we're after. What we're after is managing the land. Now, if I can recuperate some money by managing this land properly, all the better. The first job is learn how to manage the land.
Earl and Rhonda Graham ride herd over their homegrown, free-range, grass-fed and grass-finished beef on horseback. The presence of vehicles make cattle uneasy. The temperament of true pasture beef cattle is paramount.
We don't use vehicles, we use horses when we check our livestock because we don't want to damage the ground and we don't want to excite our animals. It will affect the beef, okay? So we got to have them, and it's a fine line because I can't have them to where you can walk out here and pet them. I'd have every weirdo in the world wanting to walk out and pet the cows, okay? And they have to be aggressive enough that if something wants to mess with their calf, they're a mother and not going to allow that to happen. So it's a fine line in there. If they're too docile, we can't have them. If they're too rambunctious, we can't have them. The other thing that I find unique is when they're full and they're happiest is when they all congregate back together. And it's made me realize that us humans do the same thing. When we're happy and we're full, we decide we got to congregate. We either all got to show up at the resort at the same time of the year. We got to go to a campground where everybody else is camping. We got to go somewhere, whether it's the beach or whatever. And animals do the same thing. The second they're full and they want their their time out from working and gathering their food, they all congregate and come together. Now, the desert portion of this ranch is so important to us because it's what gives us the year-round feed. When the rest of the ranch in the winter, when everything goes dormant, the desert comes alive. And the cattle get to eat, move to the desert, and they get to spend their time over here in the desert portion of the ranch. And then as spring comes on, they migrate. And so there's no reason to have cross fencing and all of that kind of stuff. If you have enough room and you run your cattle properly, you don't have to have that.
True Pasture Beef cattle live in one of two locations, either Central or Southern California. The ranches total over 5,000 acres. The Graham family's mission is to provide individuals with the power to promote positive social change in the way beef is raised, giving you the opportunity to buy environmentally sustainable and locally raised beef. The Bureau of Land Management has awarded 2 grants totaling almost $5 million to accelerate the training and placement of excess wild horses and burros into private care. These grants are part of the BLM's efforts to encourage more adopters to give a wild horse or burro a good home. The Adoption Incentive Program provides up to $1,000 to adopt an untrained wild horse or burro from the BLM. The goal of the program is to reduce BLM's recurring costs to care for unadopted and untrained wild horses and burros, while helping to enable the BLM to confront a growing overpopulation of wild horses and burros on fragile public rangelands. Thanks to its Adoption Incentive Program and the online corral, the BLM has doubled the rate of private care placement over the last 5 years. The Victor Valley Community Services Council is offering free homemaker services, transportation, and activities for seniors ages 60 and older with mobility challenges. Residents can join the group in its monthly shopping trips where they pick you up, take you home, and assist with lifting and carrying items. For more information or to reserve your seat on the bus, call 760-243-9646. The Victor Valley Community Services Council is offering free mobility devices. Do you know a senior in need of a mobility device? The Victor Valley Community Services Council provides free wheelchairs, walkers, bedside commodes, canes, and more to those who qualify. The agency recently received a generous donation of wheelchairs from High Desert Second Chance. For more information, please call 760-243-9646. Terry Kurtz Online was brought to you by Bid Fast and Last. Bid Fast and Last, world-class auctioneers. Bid online at bidfastandlast.com.
Ready to kick tires, start fires, kick ass, take names, and rock and roll.
The Bradco Companies, Joseph W. Brady's Bradco Companies. Bradco, leading efforts to improve the quality of life and standard of living for all residents throughout our high desert region. Valu Quality Truck Bodies, family owned and operated since 1954. Valu manufactures state-of-the-art truck bodies for the construction industry nationwide. We Got 'em Tees, your headquarters for custom screen printing and mastercraft embroidery designs. We Got 'em Tees, 2 locations, Apple Valley and Upland. Oh yeah, We Got 'em Tees.
Serious legal problems? Don't go it alone. The other guys have attorneys just waiting to blow you away. Contact Iwanzak. Iwanzak, law firm, trial lawyers for serious problems.
Down Home Grill, 760-241-4663 for delivery, drive-through, pickup, or to order ahead for dine-in. 12120 Ridgecrest Road, corner of Bear Valley Road and Ridgecrest Road in Victorville. And by the Holiday Inn in Victorville, conference and convention center for the high desert, and favored destination for travelers and visitors to the Victor Valley. That's a wrap on this edition of Terry Kurtz Online. On behalf of Victor Valley Television Productions, thank you for watching. We hope to see you again next time around.